Most of the time I don't see the gods. I incorporated gold light into my meditation because I watched a video saying gold light was a kind of spiritual protection decades ago, when that other video platform, not this one, and I'll probably post it on both of them, so if you're Y into T, then that's the one I'm talking about, was young. I didn't understand what it really meant. A handful of years ago, I went from wishing to protect myself to wishing to protect the world, just wanting to figure out how to. You see my little globe pendant there. It's part of my wish on a string here. I thought I wouldn't have the power alone to expand the gold light around the planet, but I knew who would, so I visualized roots growing from my feet deep into the earth. And my arms were like branches. My fingers were like twigs. The light would pour from my palms out like foliage, but it looked more like a golden fog, but made of light, so it was like a light fog. So the opposite of fog. Anyway, except for, whatever. It was like millions of trillions of little golden seeds flying in the wind. I'd see from outside myself the crest of that dust cloud, the kind of like how I imagine a surfer, I've never been able to do this, so how I imagine a surfer at the peak of the tallest wave sees the world. Faster than I could explain, scenes changed, and I saw vast landscapes underneath me as they were enveloped in love, because that golden fog is love. It's like liquid love. Then I watched as the wave would meet me on the opposite side of the globe, because it was just enveloping in one place, and then the whole world was covered. The whole planet was wrapped in a glowing hug from the universe. I didn't know then that the gold is the color of the gods. I had no clue that the colors even had different connotations. I don't post too often, so if you scroll back to a 2-part video about my awakening, I talk about the first time this visualization worked. I thought I was hallucinating. When the love starts to love you back, it's hard to explain. I always felt like the gold was Gaia's color, like the earth. It came from the earth to heal the world. But then the other gods showed up. I don't have my notes, so I'll give a loose timeline because there's lots of other things that happened in between. The first god was Khufu, who was really Osiris, because, the pharaohs, they represent different gods when they're alive and dead. Horus when they're alive, Khufu, or Osiris when they're dead. In the prophetic dream, that was a week before the election. He came to hand the patriarchy to women in order to save humanity. We have to save ourselves, you guys. We can't wait for someone else. But people are trying to help give us advice on how to evolve. And that's what I think the awakening and all the channeled messages are all about. Trying to help us. Next came Shishat. Only I just figured out who it was. I spent a long time thinking it was Nekbet, and realized I had the name wrong. Whatever, doesn't matter. She came to enlighten people. Literally, humans were all glowing gold. Enlighten. And raise us up above it. Again, in the vision, we're literally floating above all our troubles. We're floating in the stratosphere above the earth. I took that to mean we're all on equal footing from here on out, because everybody was literally in a grid pattern all around the planet. When we have a hierarchy where people are on the bottom and some are on the top, those people on the top seek to control and abuse power, and the people in the middle are constantly trying to claw their way to the top, and it ends up being a thing where if you're at the bottom, you're screwed. I had those visions for months, and I still get them. Actually, that one is the one that comes back the most. When I was having visions, if I'm having a vision, usually that's the one. It's about unity, because humans need unity. Then came Isis. She came with fire. That was the second prediction that came true. The first was when I envisioned the French president losing power and their government crumbling last year. I think it was September, maybe October. But I had the vision as it was happening, not in time to say anything, not that I would have, because at that time I still thought I was losing my mind. I got to work, saw the news, and silently panicked, because that was like my meditation from that morning. That morning I was having the meditation, so technically it had already happened. I just hadn't looked at the news yet. There's a video about that too. I saw Isis over and over for a few days. Literally, it was just a few days. But she also has I've had her in my life in other ways, but that's beside the point. She floated over an ocean of lava. It was under the United States, and I thought it was because I'd seen some volcanoes going off, because we're in like a solar maximum this year. But she was very specifically under the United States, more to the east. It was hard to see, and that's something I didn't understand before I began having these visions, was that it's actually hard to see because it's like watching a dream. It's fuzzy at the edges. I don't know how else to explain it, except it's fuzzy at the edges. The fire was making its way up, like through cracks. So weeks later, I found out there's and this was literally like a few weeks before this point, I found out there's a lava headed to New York City. It's nothing to be worried about, but it was more a confirmation for me that I'm actually seeing things before I'm supposed to know they exist. They're like predictions. So these things that I see that I have no way to prove, I think they're showing me some things that happen that I can't stop or that aren't really a concern, to show me that this is legitimate and not to doubt myself, because I need to learn to trust myself. I haven't figured out how to discern fantasy from real predictions yet. Other than like, I will feel my third eye, like I'll feel pressure in my third eye, and my palms will tingle and my feet will tingle. So that's kind of like my telltale sign that it's illegitimate. Sometimes there's a knowing, and the visions I repeat come easy. So then came Artemis. That was the next god. I was surprised because I'd seen so many Egyptian gods, I thought that was all I'd seen. I kind of forgot about Gaia being like the main god. She's the gold light. She had a totally different energy. She's a badass. And I want to mention that all of these energies are more loving. They are all like, I'm super fucking happy when I am able to have these things happen and see them. I've never had a vision where I am not like super happy afterwards or during. So if I were to have a vision and it would make me sad or angry or something else, that I would be suspicious of, just because I know that the visions come with joy. But her personality is totally different. She was dressed like an ancient Greek goddess with silver ties on her tunic. They were like, anyway, she had long, beautiful hair with some like beautiful curls in it. She was gorgeous. She was beautiful. And the first few times she had a sword, which is out of place because she actually has a bow and arrow. She controlled the light and threw it around the world with force. She knocked the hell out of all the corruption on the planet. That was maybe June through July and into part of August. I spoke about how she'd throw the light directly at me, and I could feel the energy, and my earbuds would literally crackle for real. The second the energy hit me, it was like, and then all of a sudden crackling in my ears. It was weird. Like another reason for me to believe that this has some air of legitimacy to it. The last god gave me one vision one time, so I only had this vision once. That was the one I spoke of last time, who looked and dressed like a storybook Inuit person. I don't know the tribe. I don't even know if it's a real thing. They were androgynous, skinny, had short hair, red cheeks like they were cold, and they blew the gold light around like they were literally just spreading cold air around. I forgot one detail. They seemed to have some red accents on them, kind of like claw marks. Like it was 3 claw marks. But not like real ones, kind of like a design. I don't know if that is anything, if that means anything, or if that's just, again, maybe it was just a daydream I was having, but that's usually I don't know anything about that, because it's always been Egyptian and Greek. That was the first time something that wasn't showed up. So I usually keep these to myself until I search for months. So the fact that I'm talking about that one, like that happened just like I guess it's Sunday now, so not last week, but the week before, that's significant, because I usually don't talk about this stuff for a long time, because I want to make sure that there's legitimacy to it. But again, trying to learn to trust myself. So hey, I looked once. Last week, one night, I looked at their gods, looked them up, and I didn't see anything that matched, at all. So I don't know who that was or what it was about. My running hypothesis is it's going to be cold this winter, and they were giving me a heads up. There's other experiences that aren't the gods that I've had. I didn't even think this was the interesting bit until now. I thought when people were channeling, this is kind of what was happening to them. The most important thing is now and always has been the gold light. The takeaway is love. That is what you can cultivate using the gold light. You can do it without, I know you can cultivate love without gold light. It's a vehicle for love to spread. The thing is that where love exists in high enough quantities, corruption doesn't thrive, and it heals. I send this energy to trees, and the most epic vision I ever got was of trees regaining their own sovereignty and growing despite the storms. That was so strong, I was unable to collect myself for days afterwards. Trees are so much more powerful than we give them credit for. They do hold consciousness. First time I tried sending energy to my favorite tree, it took so much energy, I had to walk away. And this was not my favorite tree yet. I just wanted to see what would happen when I touched it, and holy balls. I had to sit down and catch my breath. I was so dizzy and weak, and I know that is not what you want. Now I know better. This is something that I know now. I had to pray for Gaia to help by sending the sycamore tree energy so it stopped draining me of all my energy. I've seen the energy affect people around me. I've had it heal myself, but it's not perfect. Not yet anyway. It helped for a couple of months, and then it, if you go out of flow, it just stops. Which is why I'm always trying to avoid everybody. Leave me alone. I want my peace. I want my peace. I don't want drama. I don't want the gossip. I don't want the stuff. Just leave me alone so that I can try to get back to the place where my body is healing itself and I'm happy and I'm talking to the gods. That's what I want. That's what I want, to be away from society so I can do that. Like a freaking Delphi oracle, you know, just like go in my little cave without my fumes. Like I don't do drugs or anything. Anyway, besides the point. So we all have this ability. That's what I'm saying. I see the gold light like a crutch. I picture when, whoa, that's weird wording. I see gold light like a crutch that we can use so that we can learn to do this with our energy. And then as we evolve, we won't need the gold light anymore. We'll just all be on that level playing field. Like our kids will be born on that level playing field. I want to know what to do with it. Oh yeah, I want to know what all of you guys do with it. Excuse me, I'm reading off the teleprompter because I have terrible memory. I didn't want to lose any of the gods, so I want to know what everybody does with the gold light. How do you choose to heal the world? We are all so focused on how to improve our own lives and why we should only focus on our own lives because of free will, that we forget to accept love and send love to the world at large. And how are you going to end up unified if you aren't, you know, if you aren't sending love out? Like, contributing, that's what I'm looking for. It's not charity. That is how we begin the process of unity. A world where all the love is interconnected and growing because the gold light doesn't just dissipate. It's in the atmosphere, raising the amount of love in the world permanently. And I have like a whole hypothesis about that. Anyway, but that would go on forever. So that's why I'm so desperately wanting others to talk about this. It's more important than you understand. It's more important than I understand. Do you even know how many times I should have died? Like I've done stupid shit or ended up in situations where I should have died and some random weird something comes along to save me. Like this is quite literally what I think I was born to do, to share. I think that's why I'm here. I don't know why you can't share my videos. I'm trying to change the settings. Like I've spent a lot of time trying to change the settings, but just share the message. Say it's your own. I don't care. I just want this message out there so we're all doing the same thing. I want everyone to be sharing the message of love. Just that. We don't need technology. We don't need like to be able to upgrade humanity. I'm not saying that we aren't. Of course, we're going to have technology is going to evolve. It always does. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that we have internal technology. We have the ability to upgrade ourselves. We have the ability to evolve. There are things that we are figuring out about how humans work that we have not been able to tap into for a long time. And I think that the key to being able to access all of this human potential is by sending and receiving love and trying to raise the amount of love that the world can sustain and hold, and that humanity should be more loving and compassionate and empathetic and kind. That is literally how we, like, of course, you learn this in kindergarten. You know, that is how, you know, you interact with people. Be nice to people. Like, kindness. And it literally is true. It's the most true thing that exists. Love. Just send it. Okay? All right. Bye.